Washington. President Donald Trump acknowledged Sunday that weekend shutdown talks led by his vice president would not break an impasse, as newly empowered House Democrats plan to step up the pressure on Trump and Republican lawmakers to reopen the government. Heading to Camp David for staff meetings Sunday, Trump showed no signs of budging on his demand for $5.6 billion for a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. Undercutting the staff-level talks, Trump declared that only he could make a deal with Democratic leaders in 20 minutes if they want to, said Trump. If they don't want to, it's going to go on for a long time. With the partial shutdown in its third week, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said she intends to begin passing individual bills to reopen agencies in the coming days, starting with the Treasury Department to ensure people receive the tax refunds. That effort is designed to squeeze Senate Republicans, some of whom are growing increasingly anxious about the extended shutdown. The seemingly intractable budget showdown marks the first clash for Trump and Democrats, who now control the House. Pits Trump's unpredictable negotiating stylings against a largely united Democratic front, as many Republicans watch nervously from the sidelines and hundreds of thousands of federal workers go without pay. Among those Republicans was Sen. Susan Collins, Maine, who said Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell should take up bills from the Democratic-led House. Let's get those reopened while the negotiations continue, Collins said on NBC's Meet the Press. Democrats criticized McConnell for waiting on Trump's support, but Collins said she was sympathetic to McConnell's opposition to moving legislation without agreement from the president. Several Republicans pushed the Interior Department to find money to restaff national parks amid growing concerns over upkeep and public safety. And Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, DNY, suggested Sunday that pressure would only mount amid the shutdown, which he said is disrupting Transportation Security Administration operations, home loans and farmers in his state. Democrats and now a growing number of Republicans are coming together and saying let's open up the government and debate border security separately, Schumer told reporters in New York. Vice President Mike Pence arrived at the White House complex Sunday afternoon for a second round of negotiations with top congressional aides. Trump, who had tweeted the previous day that there had been little headway, said he was not expecting much. I think we're going to have some very serious talks come Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Trump said. While insisting he wanted to make a deal, he also declared he would not give an inch in his fight for funding for a border barrier, saying, "There's not going to be any bend." Right here, speaking to reporters later in the day, Trump said he had told aides to say that they wanted a steel barrier, rather than the concrete wall he promised during the campaign. Trump said Democrats don't like concrete, so we'll give them steel. The president has already suggested his definition of the wall is flexible, but Democrats have made clear they see a wall as immoral and ineffective and prefer other types of border security funded at already agreed upon levels. Trump reaffirmed that he would consider declaring a national emergency to circumvent Congress and spend money as he saw fit. Such a move would seem certain to draw legal challenges. Incoming House Armed Services Committee Chairman Adam Smith, D-Wash, said on ABC's This Week that the executive power has been used to build military facilities in Iraq and Afghanistan but would likely be wide open to a court challenge for a border wall. Speaking on CNN's State of the Union, Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff called the idea a non-starter. Look, if Harry Truman couldn't nationalize the steel industry during wartime, this president doesn't have the power to declare an emergency and build a multi-billion-dollar wall on the border, said Schiff. D. Califf. Trump also asserted that he could relate to the plight of the hundreds of thousands of federal workers who aren't getting paid, though he acknowledged they will have to make adjustments to deal with the shutdown shortfall. A day earlier, the president had tweeted that he didn't care that most of the workers not getting paid are Democrats. Trump's acting chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney, sought to frame Trump's support for a steel barrier as progress in the negotiations, saying on NBC's Meet the Press that, if he has to give up a concrete wall, replace it with a steel fence in order to do that so that Democrats can say, "See, he's not building a wall anymore, that should help us move in the right direction." Trump said he planned to call the heads of American steel companies in hopes of coming up with a new design for the barrier he contends must be built along the southern border. His administration has already spent millions constructing wall prototypes near the border in San Diego.